It's only recently that I've fully realized the importance of actually processing our emotions and not just distracting ourselves or pretending we're moving forward or pretending we're actually expressing it in a healthy manner. For my entire life, I realized that I was bottling up my emotions. Now, when I was younger, around 13, the doctors diagnosed me with depression, and I was a very angry kid, but shortly after that anger was expressed in very unhealthy ways for an extended period of time, I then resorted to being completely shut down and not talking to anybody about literally anything and being completely isolated. And so I realized for most of my life, I've just been shutting myself down. I've been taking the emotions that are all without my body and just pushing them down, not bringing them up and processing them and thinking about it and pondering, doing reflection, but just letting it stay stuck and not letting it release, not letting it go. And it's only within the last year that I've really fully embodied the importance of feeling these emotions to the fullest capacity. For most of my life, I didn't let myself cry. Even in deep moments of sadness, it was more of a numbness feeling than it was of a sadness because I never let any tears come down my face. I'd feel like I needed to, but I wouldn't let them. I'd hold them in. And then what happened? I felt more tightness in my body. I felt more closed down energetically. I felt more unconfident. I just felt shittier about myself and everything in life. And then within the last year, I decided to say to myself, okay, all of the emotions that come up, I'm going to feel them. And sometimes I'm not going to be able to magically change the mood around by doing a meditation session or going for a walk. Sometimes I'm going to have to sit there for the entire evening and bawl my eyes out. Now, this wasn't in any way, shape, or form an easy conclusion for me to come to because for my entire life, I've been told that I need to man up as a man, that I need to be strong, that I need to be stoic, and that I can't feel my feelings. And you probably relate to that. Now, there is something to be said for overly expressing yourself and crying and being a crybaby all the time. But whether you're a man or you're a woman, you're a human being. You have emotions that need to be processed. It's a normal human endeavor. And as men, we oftentimes shut that down, and it creates so much tension and problems in ourselves, with our confidence, with our relationships, with everything, with our work. It doesn't matter. It affects everything in the most negative way possible. If you made it this far in the video so far, I'm sure that resonates with you. I'm sure it's something that you have experienced before or you are currently experiencing. So now when an emotion comes up, I express it honestly to the people that I'm talking to. If I'm in a social situation and if I'm by myself, I fully embody it, at least to the best of my ability. It's still something I'm working on. I think it was about a month ago where I watched a movie. It was Interstellar. I watched it for the first time. And it was shortly after my last relationship partner broke up with me. And so I've been going through a lot of different emotions on a daily basis. That movie also made me kind of emotional. And I actually cried during that movie, which I usually don't cry during movies. Not because I don't feel the emotion, but because I don't let myself until now. And you might be thinking to yourself, oh, so Brad, you're just emotional now and you can't really control yourself. It's like, how is that good that you're crying more? It's because I've spent years not letting myself cry, so now it just comes out. And we have a lot of shame around this as men. Like, oh, I'm not supposed to cry, therefore you don't let yourself do it. I didn't let myself do it. And so right after this movie ended, I had this super strong urge. I felt it all come up. And I said to myself, I'm gonna go up in my room right now and I'm gonna cry. And I sat in my room for around 40 minutes and I just bawled my eyes out. And I no longer let myself feel shame for it. I no longer let myself stay stuck. That's what's really happening. Because when we're bottling up these emotions, we don't express our anger, our frustration, our sadness, feeling confused, feeling lost, feeling guilty, feeling shameful. We get stuck. And then there's this huge pile of darkness energetically and with your thoughts that just constantly follow you around and make you feel like shit all the time no matter what you're doing. And so I said to myself, I don't want to do this anymore. Whatever emotion comes up, I want to actually feel it. Because I wouldn't let myself feel it. We don't let ourselves feel. But you cannot heal unless you let yourself feel. I still don't cry super often, but when I feel like it, I try my best to let myself do it and let it flow out. When I feel severe anger, it's how can I express this in a healthy manner? Do I need to go to the gym? Do I need to ponder about it in combination with that? Do I need to talk to somebody? What do I need to do? And it's only recently that I've really been giving myself the space to do that. I decided to start coaching about a year ago, and so I'm talking to people about their problems all the time. And then I realized, oh wait, it would also be helpful for me to talk to other people about my issues that I'm going through as well. So I have a group community of men where we come together, talk about self-development, improving our relationships, advancing spiritually. I'm the coach in this group, and I'm also in another group where all the other guys are older than me, and essentially they teach me things and they hold this space for me and I hold this space for them. And it's like age here doesn't really matter. So we often have this conception that because somebody is older than me, it must mean that they're incredibly more intelligent than me. In a lot of cases, that is true. Obviously, they've had more life experience, but give yourself credit for the knowledge that you have. I know things at 21 years old that 80-year-olds that I talk to don't know. And that's not to say, oh, I'm better than an 80-year-old. It's just to say we all have something to teach each other in the emotional realm, in the spiritual realm, in mental health, in the work that you're doing, in literally every area of life. And it's been so liberating to be able to allow myself the space to open up to other men. Because most of the time when I was younger, I started my self-development journey when I was 16. I stopped jerking off. I started to take cold showers. I started to get in the gym, started to meditate, started to journal, started to do all these habits to make my life a better place because my life fucking sucked. And I told my friends about how happy I was and how passionate I was about all this, and they laughed in my face and told me how stupid. Brad, you're taking cold showers. Oh, you're not jerking off anymore. What are you doing? So for the next year to 2 years, I spent most of my time by myself, just doing self-development by myself, and not really having any other men to relate to on this, because all they cared about was the same shit that everyone else does at 16, which is basically nothing. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but I was a little bit more mature than the other people my age, and so I felt a lot more lonely. And having matured more now and being able to process these emotions and a lot of the experience that I'm going through a lot further and develop philosophies around them and come to conclusions, do actual reflection, and fully process everything without just distracting myself through video games or hooking up with somebody or doing some bullshit that a lot of us do, I now feel so much more connected to myself and other individuals. And so when you finally start to embark on this journey of feeling your emotions and being more in tune with yourself as a man, there's going to be certain men in your life currently that are not going to be able to hold the space for you, and it's going to be difficult. Some people will make fun of you, some people call you stupid, some people call you too emotional, some people will tell you to man up, and you need to respectfully tell them to fuck off. And like for me, there was a time period in the gap of 1 to 2 years where I was basically by myself, but I guarantee you, if you keep pushing on the journey, if you keep developing yourself, it's guaranteed that you meet the people that are right for you. It's guaranteed you get that circle. It's guaranteed that you meet men that you can talk to about actual things that matter. You hold the space for them, they hold the space for you, and it's beautiful. I realized that community for men is absolutely essential. If we don't have a tribe, if we don't have a group of people that are alongside of us that actually give a shit about the things that we do, we're very lost. And that's where we resort to, oh, just go to the bar, have a few drinks, have a few laughs. Is there a time, space, and energy for that? Absolutely. But if you're doing that every single weekend and there's no other intention in your life, you probably feel lost and you probably don't know where to start. Where's the first place to start? Going internally, feeling your emotions, understanding where you're at now, planning out where you want to go, and figuring out what are the small steps that I need to take every day to get to where I want to go, to finally make my mental health a better place, to finally enjoy my work more, to finally enjoy everything in life more to the fullest. Because if you're not feeling your emotions, if you're not doing the reflection, you're not living life to the fullest, you're distracting yourself. And the reason as to why so many of us do this is because our entire culture and society promotes this fully. Drugs, alcohol, sex, have fun. But don't you dare look inside of yourself. Don't you dare look at your relationship and think to yourself, oh, maybe it's not just my relationship partner that fucked up. Maybe I did something wrong too. Maybe sometimes I'm an asshole to people. Maybe I mess up sometimes. Maybe I'm not perfect. Maybe I have things that I need to work on. If you go to the bar every weekend, if you're constantly distracting yourself with drugs, alcohol, and sex, you have no space. You have no time for reflection. You have no time to make yourself a great human being. Give yourself the space. For the first time, do it for yourself. It all naturally flows into line, and now you can apply it to your relationships, to your friendships, to your family, to your work, to everything in life. If you keep putting this off and say, maybe I'll work on this sometime, you probably never will. You'll probably go throughout the next few years still distracting yourself, still not getting the relationships that you want, still not feeling in tune with yourself, and none of us want that. So it all starts with you. Nobody's gonna make the decision for you. This video is your sign to start looking internally, start doing the inner work, and start finally making yourself the best version of yourself. If you're looking for a community to surround yourself with other men focused on self-development, improving your relationships, advancing spiritually, getting more in tune with your emotions, building up your confidence, I'm going to leave the link to our group in the description below. You can check it out there, and also, it's completely free to get started.